Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to have a look at Endgame number 52 and 53 from the book 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Vega. We are now moving on to Rook and Pawn versus Rook endgames. These are very common endgames, as you may know. We are obviously going to start off with the Philidor defense, which is a very basic Rook and Pawn endgame, which is the drawish position. This is a Philidor defense position. It's black to move and draw. How can black draw this position? The correct move is Rook g6. The whole point is to cut off the king and to force white to move the pawn in front to make any sort of progress. And if here white moves the pawn first, then the black rook comes back, and after say king d6 going forward, the black rook can give as many checks as possible, and no reasonable progress white can make. Even though they have an extra pawn, this is a drawish endgame. However, now going back to this position here, instead of Rook g6, what if for example black plays Rook g1, a waiting move, and after king d6 Rook d1 check? Then this is absolutely winning for white. The main reason is now the white king can use this pawn, because it is not advanced, it can use this pawn to shoulder itself from any checks. And now as you can see, white is threatening checkmate, so Rook d8, after Rook h7, King f8, and white wins a rook and wins his position. If, for example, in this position, instead of Rook d8, if the king moves to, for example, King f8, then it's still winning, because this pawn will come to the 7th rank and it will become the Lucena position, which we'll have a look at it in a minute. Endgame number 53 talks about the Lucena position. This is the most frequent rook and pawn versus rook endgame winning endgames. Here there are three ways for white to win. It's black to move. Black moves Rook c2, and as you can see, the white king cannot make any progress because all the escape squares are now cut off. So the correct move is Rook f1. Give a check, and after King g7, for example, here the first method is called the bridge. That is, after Rook f4, the whole point is say Rook c1, King e7. Now the black rook can give a check, so the king has to move to King d6, Rook d1 check, King e6, and after giving this Rook e1 check, now the king comes forward to King d5. And after Rook d1, here the rook interposes and there are no more checks, and this pawn will securely queen in the next couple of moves. So going back to this position, Rook f4 is the first method. Now the second method, which is also winning, but not as comprehensive as the first one, which is Rook a1. The whole point is to bring the rook to a8 and to c6. We'll just have a look at it. King f6, Rook a8, Rook c1, and then Rook c8. Now it actually prepares for this king to escape along this diagonal. Rook d1, King c7, Rook c1, King b6, Rook b1, King a5, and as you can see, the king is actually coming forward and it will attack this rook. This rook is actually protecting this pawn, so say something like Rook d1, then after queening, the rook takes the pawn and rook takes d8, and this is a winning endgame. Unlike in the previous bridge position where you will get a queen, in this kind of position you will just simply get a rook and a king, which is still winning. Now the third and the least preferred method is after King g7. We had a look at Rook f4, which is the bridge position. We also had a look at Rook a1, the second method. And now I also forgot to mention the second method won't work with pawns which are knight pawns. So if it's a knight pawn, you cannot use this kind of method because it will not work. Okay, and also now the third method is Rook f5. It is a less elaborate bridge position. First of all, After king g6, I just simply do not like this kind of position. You can simply play rook e7, and after the king takes a rook, you simply queen, and this is a king and queen versus king and rook endgame. It's still winning, but it's not as comprehensive as the first two methods. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and it's bye for now.